I would be remiss if I didn't try out PO one more time before the big paper events. So this time, 4 dress downs. Is this the solution to the mono white metagame? Can I stop all the hull breaching and Orcish Bowmasters and Archons of Emeria by playing 4 pseudo removals in our PO deck? Let's find out. Welcome back, vintage gamers. You know, with all these high stakes tournaments coming up, I would be remiss if I didn't play at least one vintage challenge with paradoxical outcome. So Mox goes up, Mox comes down. You can't explain that. This is what I have brewed up for 2023 paradoxical outcome. I am Esper, but I am not playing like a very Esper main. I'm not currently playing Lavinia and Teferi, who are the cards I think are the best in white in the main for PO. I don't think Lavinia is bad right now, and I don't think Teferi is bad either. But what we're going to try today is just to play the full 4 dress down in the main. Now, I've played this strategy in the past. Of course, I tested 4 dress down before, and my results, what I found was it was kind of clunky, but this was also probably pre-initiative, or at least like before initiative super rise. So it's possible that the added utility of there being so many hateful creatures in play right now makes this worthwhile. So we are a pretty mono blue-ish, all in PO. We're going to do our thing. We're going to dress down our opponent's creatures. We're going to Flusterstorm with PO and Tinker with Flusterstorm backup, 3 Flusterstorms main. I think Flusterstorm gets a little bit better right now with the amount of Beseech being played. One thing I have conceded to is that 3 opals was probably not correct. I think 2 opals has been functioning better. It does make your POs a lot worse because you're less likely to have a blue repeatable mana engine for your paradox outcome, but the amount of hands where you draw double opal is probably too much. I'm not sure what the opal top split is actually supposed to be. There are some times I've played 3 top, 2 opal, 3 top, 1 opal, 3 opal, 1 top, 3 opal, 2 top. I haven't really come down on a perfect number here because you really do want more artifacts in this deck, and you really always want to have a single top, but the second top is usually not as good. So it's trying to figure that out. We're going to go 13 lands, 2 island to keep the mana count high. I'm not playing Lorien Revealed. I don't think it's quite that good if you're not trying to like utilize Saga or Wastelands in your deck. I did try a Strip Mine main. Wasn't super big fan because it just doesn't make blue mana. Like this deck wants its lands to make blue mana because its artifacts are not always making blue mana. In PO, I think it's very, very important that you don't play Urza Saga or colorless lands because if they're not making blue mana, you're not casting your spells. And if you're not casting your spells in the first 2 or 3 turns, first, second, third turn of the game, your deck is not really doing what it's set out to do. Sideboard is pretty reasonable. We are fully respecting shops in these days. Kind of been a nice little comeback for shops between Nullrod, aggro shops, and the Oswald shops deck. A lot of people are actually playing shops, so we're going to play 4 Hercules. We're going to play full respect to mono white with 3 swords and a balance. We have a fragmentize for null rod decks. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bullets, 5 bullets if you count Sphinx of the Steel Wind for Bazaar. I am going to try playing a Caracas. It's nice to have an extra white source against mono white, and it also bounced the Thalia. So I'm going to try playing Caracas today. And then, of course, we have a Mindbreak Trap just because there's going to be a lot of Beseech still. The way I came down on Beseech is that I think Beseech is powerful enough for Vintage. It clearly is doing strong things, but it kind of feels a little too all in and a little exploitable. It kind of reminds me of like an Oops All Spells type deck. And I'm not really super interested in that style of gameplay, even though it is powerful enough for Vintage. So round 1, we're going to play some PO. Let's see what happens. Are you interested in weekly vintage metagame recommendations? Do you want to see your deck list played on my channel? Or maybe you are just looking for the best way to support my vintage content. Make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description below. Let's battle. Okay, here we go. Round 1, Vintage Challenge. We're up against Mad Max. Last time they played a deck, it was Jeskai. So there's nothing quite like playing PO into a metagame where very little Jeskai exists and then immediately getting yourself pyroblasted. I guess I should say very little pyroblast exists and immediately getting pyroblasted. This hand is quite good though. Got the full mana suite going on. Have a top. Can check out their hand, formulate a game plan, and look for Tinker with Flusterstorm backup. This is, you know, this is one of the best hands that is not like super explosive. So my opponent is actually not on Jeskai, they're on Oath. We're seeing a Force and a Flusterstorm and a pile of artifact mana, which makes it very, very unlikely we're going to be able to go for our Tinker game plan. It might be that we just Mystical for a Ancestral instead. Don't think we want to do that now, but we'll see what happens. If my opponent like jams a Tinker, I don't know. Well, I'm not really worried about Hull Breacher and Lavinia, and I think Flusterstorm is a pretty easily counterable card. Pyroblast is kind of annoying though. Like Flusterstorm, you just play around to the best of your ability. Like you have the ability to go end step PO. Whereas Beseech doesn't have the ability to play around Fluster in any meaningful capacity. You like have to put Thoughtseizes and stuff in your deck, which I don't really like at all. And like obviously Hull Breacher and Lavinia are good against PO, but if I just play 4 dress downs in the main, how much do we really care? If I'm our opponent, I probably would just play out Mana Crypt and spin my top. Don't really know what I'm going to do with this, because if I go for... I just don't know. Like, I have to pretty much go for Ancestral and make them use Force on it. I guess theoretically they could just Flusterstorm my Mystical Tutor, but I think that ends up being better for me. I just fetch and spin for a powerful card and hope to play it with my Flusterstorm. So my opponent has Force, Fluster, Brainstorm, and an Unknown. And should I fetch first? Yeah, probably, just in case I need to Fluster. I mean, I'm not going to win a Fluster battle because they have too much open mana. It's just possible I'm supposed to just wait Mystical on my upkeep, and then Mystical, and then if I wait Mystical on my upkeep and then Ancestral on their turn, they could always Brainstorm. I guess that might even be better. It just plays around everything. But I kind of, like I said, I kind of don't think I care if they Fluster my Mystical at the end step, so... I don't think I'm going to get wastelanded by this deck. I'm just going to go for Underground Sea. And I would normally just go straight for Tinker here with Tinker with Flusterstorm backup, but my opponent has double pieces of interaction, so I just can't do that. So I'll just go for Ancestral. I guess theoretically I could just cast this Ancestral right now. They will force it. Do I just win the Fluster battle, actually? So if I play Ancestral with 4 mana open and they force it, I Fluster it, and then they Fluster all my copies of Ancestral with 1, 2, 3. Storm is 3, is 4. I'm 1 short. Why not spin after Mystical? I just didn't. I've been talking out loud. You see, there's this thing where I'm streaming and I am trying to verbalize all my thoughts and I forget to do all the things. No, that's not really what it was. It was just I wanted to really check out if I wanted to play 4 dress down again. I think I am just going to go on their upkeep anyways. But yeah, I mean, obviously I should have spun my top at the end of turn. There was no reason not to do that. I mean, like, I guess a compelling reason not to do that is if you want to, like, make sure they can't cast Brainstorm or Ancestral or something. But they also forgot to spin for what it's worth. I guess they didn't actually... Did they spin? Oh, they spun with top, so they didn't want to respin. I think I would always respin anyways. Maybe not. All right, I'm going to cast Ancestral, target myself here. My opponent has to force this. They force pitching Brainstorm. And like I said, this just doesn't do anything. I guess we spin. I guess if I had... Dress Down, not the worst card against Atraxa deck, but... I've actually won a couple matches in a now in testing where I just dress down all my opponent's Atraxas and I just combo killed them. Because like they go all in on like a show and tell or whatever. Did we learn if we can show and put in the show and tell with the Atraxa? We can't, right? We have to do it beforehand or no? Oh, I mean, that's just insane. So my opponent's playing Karn with Force backup, or sorry, with Flusterstorm backup. Yeah, I mean, what's a guy to do, I guess? I still think PO is bad, yes, but I mean, I have to test cards. If we both put in the same, then yeah. But I mean, if I get rid of my top, I lose access to this. Like, is drawing a dress down actually worthwhile? I don't know. The only way I'm winning this game is like a Tinker, but they have a Flusterstorm. This game is going to be super hard. Pretty sure we're just going to die. Why would you kill the Opal first? Doesn't make any sense. Is there any reason to play this on end step? I can't PO. I want to cycle this. I need to start pushing towards a Monastery Mentor is probably my best chance. So I guess it's just it's a main phase dress down. My opponent's hand, I can't say could have lined up any better than it is right now. My opponent had infinite fast mana, blue mana, Flusterstorm Force, blue card into a Karn. Just doesn't really get better than that against what I'm trying to do here. I probably just want this in play in case I draw Tinker at some point here. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I had like it's not like this mystical was a vamp and I could have gone for a mentor instead of ancestral. Right. I haven't really been happy with Karn. I keep trying to play Karn in like PO, but it just has not been good for me. My opponent gonna like okay. My opponent keeps drawing with the top and replacing it and spending more mana, but I guess they have like infinite mana, so it doesn't really matter. PO, not great. Especially when all my Moxen have been destroyed by Karn. Yeah, I don't really feel like I have much game plan here. Oh, they're gonna pay to untap their mana vault. Sure. Yeah, kind of have to play this game out, considering my opponent... I guess my opponent has a Karn to kill their mana crypt, but... The opponent's deck is... I mean, it's a deck I created, so I have a pretty good understanding of what's going on. It's pretty clunky. It's a deck I've considered playing as well. I just don't really like how disjointed the draws in the deck are. You have some pretty expensive moving pieces in both directions when you have show and tell and oath and all that kind of things. All right, well, I have the ability to cycle my paradoxical outcome. Wish I had all my Moxen, but the Karn killed them all. What is the criteria for a card to be restricted? I don't know. I don't restrict magic cards. That is entirely up to the Wizards of the Coast. My opponent should probably kill off this mana crypt at some point. I'm pretty sure we're cycling our PO at the end step. I mean, that's the legacy ban list, is if people complain enough. Restriction. Cards don't really get too much restrictions these days. All right, the mana crypt has been destroyed. There goes our win con. All right. So I'm going to cycle this paradoxical outcome. Yeah, it's been a little while. 4 Narset, 4 Karn. I mean, Karn got restricted pretty fast. It was pretty obvious, like, Karn was the best thing to be doing in the format by a large amount. That was pretty quick. All right, Time Walk. Another PO. All right, let's Time Walk. All right, so the PO opens up, like, drawing Moxen being okay. It's kind of nice. Brainstorm. Do we lock ourselves for the fleeting chance of glory? Yeah, probably. Found the mentor. They just have to not have force. I think I just put Island PO on top, play mentor with force backup, and then untap and try to PO. Seems fine. Don't think I'm ever going to get a Flusterstorm resolved against this player anyways. All right, well, we'll see if our opponent has a force in their hand plus top 3. If they don't, this is at least a game plan. If they counter this, I'm pretty screwed. Oh, they didn't counter this. Okay, well, I feel like we have winning chances now. But, like, obviously this force doesn't do anything because they have a Flusterstorm. But, like, they currently don't have any other blue mana. So, like, if they played an Oath, I could force it. I don't exactly know what my opponent's drawing, but, like, could be 4 Atraxas. I don't know. Watch them just go, like, Pearl, Ruby, balance me. Come on, man. I would assume the deck doesn't play Lattice. I mean, they can't play Lattice now. We have a mentor, right? You can definitely build these decks without Lattice. I do it all the time. I do like having a Lattice, though. Like, it makes it a win con. All right, so my opponent has drawn a card with this Sensei Stop so many times. All right, they finally hit their other blue mana, so now they can play Oath with Fluster backup. And that's what they've been waiting for this whole time. So I'm dead, right? Well, I'm going to force and make a monk. And then PO and make 2 monks. And then I don't have a dress down for the Atraxa. Oath gets them an Atraxa. And we lose. Yeah, I think my opponent was basically... It's possible my opponent had a Oath for a couple turns and was just trying to find another green-blue source so they could play with Fluster backup. Do I have lethal? I don't think so. We would have to cast 3 spells. Unless I'm doing the spirit token. So I only need 7 damage. So do I just have lethal? Oh, they stood up the mana vault. Ah, nice play. I could pick up the mentor. No, it's terrible. Yeah, if opponent didn't have a mana vault untapped, they actually do die here, right? Because it's gonna be exactly it's only 8, right? It'd be 4, 7, 8. So it'd be 1 short anyways. All right, I mean, no. We're not playing any main deck white cards. We're playing just 4 dress downs. Okay, whatever. I mean, we're gonna go face place, and then what we could draw is like a repeal, and then repeal the thing that gets blocked by Atraxa, maybe. They could have I mean, they probably have 4 Atraxas in their deck, but they could technically have Atraxa low in their deck. No. All right, they found a 1 ring and an Ancestral and a Black Lotus and an Oath and an Oko and a Saga. Ew, the deck's playing Saga and 1 ring? Man, I hate it. I hate it so much. It means they're probably not playing the show and tell deck, which means it's not the version that I was playing. It's some kind of Saga heavy blue, big blue mana base one ring deck. I don't like that at all. I mean, definitely had some upsides to show and tell. So my opponent kept Tolarian Academy, Ancestral, Ponder, Lotus, Oko, Oath. They didn't get a force though, right? I mean, they could probably just draw one off the Ancestral. They just drew an additional one ring after they put a ring in their yard and then didn't take the ring out of their thing. Okay, sure. So I can still win this game. I do technically still have draws that win this game. It's kind of unlikely my opponent didn't find a force of will. But if they didn't find a force of will, I do still have draws that win this game. That is not one of them. If I had PO'd back my mentor... Yep. I mean, I think we had like pretty reasonable winning chances at multiple points in this game. Especially if my opponent like didn't find a green-blue source off of their top. Then we get to force their oath and we get attacks in. They like lost so much life from Mana Crypt. The fact that this game was close is pretty reasonable for me. It's kind of interesting if I wanted to mental misstep that, but I was F6. So if I had PO'd back my mentor, I would have had this mental misstep for Ancestral. It probably doesn't matter, but okay, I am just dead to that. I was hoping to see more of their deck, but it's okay. Okay, so my opponent is playing some kind of interesting ring oath deck, some kind of combo-oriented oath deck. I like the idea of a needle here hitting Oko and ring. I like the idea of Mindbreak Trap here. And I like the idea of Fragmentize here. And obviously Caracas is great. Definitely don't need Island. Don't need Hercules, probably. Don't need... So many cards. We definitely don't need a plow. We definitely don't want Swords of Plowshares. You know what's better than Swords of Plowshares? Swords of Plowshares every turn. That I mean, swordsing my opponent's oath creatures is almost never the choice you're ever going to make. Mystical and maybe one Dress Down. They are playing Saga and they are playing Atraxa, so Dress Down's not bad by any means. Let's just do this. This looks fine. Yeah, I mean, I kind of think this matchup should be pretty good for me. Karn is definitely a problem, but Karn's just always a problem with the kind of decks I play, so. We both kind of had similar game one hands. Theirs was better, right? Not another like kind of medium hand, but Always going to keep this one as well. There's like... Vamp. No, this is a ponder hand for sure. It's just a crack ponder. Look for like second land, maybe Vamp Ancestral. Nope, I wouldn't play Sphinx. That's not really how we're trying to win the game. Just cast our spell, like cast our Tinker or cast our PO and resolve it is our plan. It just so happened that like we had a Flusterstorm, they had 5 mana on turn 1, they had Force, like it just didn't line up right. Wow. So, technically speaking, I could vamp for a Black Lotus. Soul Ring. No, it doesn't do it. Okay, this just has to get shuffled. I could technically vamp for a Black Lotus and play a Narsa, I guess. No, this just looks like a shuffle. Probe. Yeah, I want to see what they have. My opponent has Mental Misstep, Force Ancestral, Time Walk, Fetch, Sensei's Top. Holy shit. Okay. That's like my hand, but better. It's basically my hand, but better. Interesting. We do have a Mind Break Trap. Looks like they're not going to let that happen, though. I think I'm on just force their Ancestral, make them force back, have them draw 3 fresh ones, and then go for... Tinker, probably. How would you like to tinker right now? how are we doing that? I'd love to know. The DT Lotus. How does that cast Tinker right now? I'm losing my mind. Okay, so my plan is to just demonic for a mana crypt. So my plan is demonic for a mana crypt, play Mox Opal, pass the turn, upkeep, vamp for Tinker with 2 mana floating, can't get Flusterstormed, untap Tinker with 2 mana floating, can't get Flusterstormed. They have to have drawn Force or something else. Why is there a Tundra in my opponent's deck? So they can cast Balance. That is what I thought as well, but... All right, my play has been made. I unfortunately just kept pretty much all restricted card hand, and my opponent kept a better restricted card hand. This is still a winnable game, obviously, but like my opponent has to just like stop breathing. They have to not have anything in their 7-card hand. 5 cards we don't know about. See what happens. The good news is we can't get Flusterstorm. The bad news is we can get negated or forced. A Mox here is not better than a Mana Crypt for all the reasons I just talked about playing around Flusterstorm. I'm losing my mind. This is just the stupidest game, man. All right. It's just incredible, dude. Yeah, they shuffled on their ponder, by the way. they shuffled on their ponder. They did. I think I was gonna win this game, but my opponent shuffled into Karn. Awesome. Just a disgusting round 1. All right, we're looking over game 1 right now. We've been doing that for a little while. Game 2, I think we played really well. Game 1, it looks like we played pretty much awful. Once we know our opponent's hand, I don't think we're supposed to mystical at all. That's the first thing. We have spin and fetch, so we have 6 looks to find something reasonable and progress a game plan from there. So I think mysticaling at all is probably bad. And then if once we do mystical, and we've drawn this land for turn, what we should really do is just cast Ancestral Recall here. They force, we fluster the force, they fluster my Ancestral, I lose my hand, they lose all their hand but 1. They have a top and 1, and we have none, but we have a top and 6 looks. It's just so much better than the choice I made. I like the heuristic that I'm following is it's normally better to make them tap and use their mana on their turn. But the problem is when I go to their turn and make them use their mana, they don't have to use any mana because it's Force of Will, and I can't fluster anyways because they have 4 mana. And I definitely realized that once I passed the turn, I was like, oh, this is worse. But I didn't realize just like how much worse it was. I don't know. Do I look at my top 3 cards at any point in here? Oh, I know my top 3 cards are 3 dress downs. So I would just shuffle my dress downs away, and then I would spin again at the end of turn. But like, there's a world where we lose our whole hand, they lose their whole hand except for 1. I guess they probably still Karn us, so we probably just lose anyways. But like, it's so much better for us if they don't have Karn, say they have like Atraxa and nothing or something, or even if they just play Oath, we have 6 looks to find Tinker. It's just like way better. It's just so much better. So like just getting the Flusterstorm out of their hand is like the most important card. Obviously, so just getting their whole hand out for like we get 3 cards for 2 cards. We should just make the trade. I guess it's kind of like 3 cards for 3 cards, considering we used our mystical and our draw step. Maybe it's more like 4 cards for 3 cards, but like that's kind of the point we're at. But like with the fetch land draw and having 6 looks to find Tinker, I think it's just way worth it. Just a horrible play, pretty much. Okay, here we go. I got a nice one. This is basically what you want to see when you're playing the deck. This set of rocks. Obviously, if this hand had a PO in it or force, then it gets better, but We actually cover a pretty decent range of decks here. We're covering the blue decks pretty reasonably with Mental Misstep. We're covering the mono-white matchup pretty reasonably with Dress Down, and we have 5 mana plus top. Like, all we need to do is draw payoff, and we win, right? Even Collector Roof turn 1 is, like, not even the end of the world, right? If we hit our land drops and play Dress Down, we're still winning through that pretty easily. So... I wonder if I'm supposed to cut Snapcaster from the list if I play 4 Dress Downs. That's something I was thinking about as well. Another Oath matchup, maybe? Let's play around a Wasteland deck by playing Island. We can't really play around... Can we, like, play around Vigor in any meaningful way? I guess we just play Opal last. All right, so definitely, like, leave Bluster on top. And then we could always spin into something else if we want. And then looking to ponder. Okay, this is a pretty reasonable start here, as long as we don't get oof too bad or something bad happens. We were actually covered from Vigor with that Fluster, which is nice. By having the island out and a spin available. Let's see what happens here. If nothing happens here, I'll just spin at the end of turn and get the ponder going. Might still want the Fluster anyways, just to help us resolve a spell. We do have enough to PO with Fluster. Okay, so it is Oath again. 2 matchups versus Oath. Interesting. Is it going to be show and tell? So a question becomes, do we care? Because they could have a Citadel, or they could have one of their 4 Atraxas. If it's Atraxa, we're putting in our Dress Down, and we're dressing it down, and we're drawing a card, and we're looking to combo off with a Flusterstorm. Back up. I think I'm okay with this. Assuming the Dress Down works the way we think it does. Nice. Dress Down is a broken Magic card. That could have gone really badly with a Citadel, but they also played their land drop, so... Alright, let's go spinning and see if we can find something better than a Ponder. If not, we'll just Ponder. Alright, so we'll just Ponder here. We have 3 hits. Maybe less if this Mana Crypt is not kind to us. Alright, we lost a Mana Crypt flip. Just looking for a PO, Tinker, DT. None of these cards. I think it's better to just get fresh looks than to, like, snap or something. Time Walk. See what's on top. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna leave that in play for a Citadel, maybe. All right, so if this loses, then it's 2 attacks. We draw a negation. We spin looking for a payoff. PO. Awesome. Only going to be for 3, but that's okay. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Draw. It's fine. Mental misstep negation. So we know we're drawing Sensei's top and Emerald. Oh, sorry, Sensei's top what? Emerald and Force. So we still need to find more action. But we have time here. We don't have to replay our Mana Crypt either. We can't hit PO if we spin, but I think we're down there. I have 0 cards, so we can go for another full turn. Sensei's top. All right, well. Okay. No fetch land or anything either. Just bricks. True. Dress down and block with Spirit Token. Another good reason to leave a Spirit Token in play. If we lose this game, we're going to clip it and send it to log T1 Rama and say this is what happens when you PO for 3. I mean, we have coverage of whatever they can do, so it's not like there are other things that we need to worry about. I don't think there's anything they can get that I care about that I can't force later. Like, isn't it better for me, like, if they get Ancestral, isn't it better for me to Mental Misstep and still have a Force? Yeah, I guess Fluster's a pretty reasonable reason. Just, like, want to consider it. Just negate it. Pitch Misstep. Draw Soul Ring, play Soul Ring, spin Soul Ring, spin maybe Sapphire. Look on our 3rd card deep. Just looking for a payoff. We found a Delta. Kind of actually like slightly punished here for not taking the Sensei's top. Also for tapping this way, because now I can't hold open Force. God. Can I get worse at this game? Just playing abysmally. Just playing terribly. Okay, yeah. So I should have probably just... Well, I definitely shouldn't have tapped this way. I should have just used a Sapphire to spin so I could have held up Hardcast Force. But it's fine. So we draw our fetch land here. We have enough to spin looking at our only unknown card first. If it's bad, then we can... It's bad, then we can fetch. We need to find a payoff inside of these new 3 cards. We found Demonic Tutor. That is the payoff we're looking for. Then Demonic Tutor. So if I were to get a Yogwill, all I can do is Time Walk with it. So I have to just get PO and PO for 5. And hope they have nothing bad for me. So I played my land drop this turn. Okay. Drew an Ancestral. If we don't draw something off this Ancestral, we lose. Drew a top. If we don't draw something off top, we at least can Hercules ourselves. Tinker. I'm gonna Hercules myself. Well, top hold priority, Hercules myself. Gets me 1 card deeper. Mystical Tutor. Doesn't do anything. So... Tinker. Citadel. Mystical on top for Yogwill. Cast Yogwill. Crypt PO win. Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, that should be fine. Can't force, but I think that's fine at this point. All right, draw through our deck. Mentor Time Walk. Dress down. This felt really scary. Felt like I had a lot of things that went badly in that sequence. It's just demonic for Mentor. All right, so this is deterministically lethal. All we need to do is not play our Mana Crypt out, take a Time Walk turn, and then whatever they block, we can just dress down or sack. Could even just repeal the Atraxa, which is kind of a cute line. Yep. Or I can just sack whatever they block with, or all of the choices are winning. It's I'm not worried about not doing enough. I can tell you I am not remotely worried about not doing enough damage. I'm more worried about my computer crashing Moto than I am about not doing enough damage here. My tops loop with each other, so I draw and cast top like 7 or 8 times. And then when I attack, what after they block, I either sack my Citadel, which is lethal, or dress down, which is lethal, or like probably can actual factual just let them block with a life linker and kill through it. Like it's just going through the motions. There's just no way you can mess it up unless you like cast the top off the top of your library with 1 life. I mean, if I accidentally cast the top off of Citadel after playing like infinite hours of PO on MTGO, then I deserve to lose. So no, I mean, my thing clearly takes time, so they should make me use my time. I'm at 13 minutes. Should I do some math? I have 9 attackers that are all 9/9s. I don't have to do it this many times, but I'm also just not worried about timing out in any capacity. So I'm just chilling out here and making my actions. So this is like negative, what, 50, 60, 70? 50. Cool. I played that game really badly, though. There was a couple missed opportunities in the way I sequenced that could have led to me having a bad time. So I just don't think I'm playing very well today in total. So all right. Again, we're gonna bring in Fragmentize. I'm not gonna bring in Needle because I didn't see as many things from them. I'm gonna bring Fragmentize, Caracas, Mindbreak Trap. I'm gonna take out Island, Hercules, and what was the other card I was taking out? Mystical. Mystical. Yeah. Just like this. Replay. Dress Down is just a broken magic card. It's so strong. Like I said, I think I have a really good Oath matchup. I just got bodied by a Karn twice. And played badly. I mean, there's a reason I'm like willing to play 4 Dress Downs in my deck. It's because I think the card is good in the majority of matchups that are currently in the metagame. The card that the times that this is really bad is like specifically Bazaar. It's not very good against Bazaar, but even then you could like blank Icarids or Vengevines for a turn or something. Like it's pretty bad against Bazaar, but like against all of the other decks in the format, it's quite good. This hand is extremely clunky and weird. Probably a keep though. I just don't. I like my last hand was pretty good. My first hand in this game was pretty good, but in general, I've had like probably I don't know. I mean, even the first hand in the first game was pretty good. It just didn't line up very well. Like, there's a difference between your hand being good and it lining up poorly, right? Whereas I think this hand is again medium, but I mean, I think it's fine. If I draw a Moxen, I think it becomes quite good because I can just demonic for Tinker, and I have a Tinker ready to go. Should say non-Opal Moxen, I guess. Nice. If my opponent wants to Flusterstorm this, I think it's acceptable. I have to get through the Flusterstorms at some point. It's just a good use of my mana. So then the question becomes, do I think they're going to have a Flusterstorm when I go for this Tinker? And the answer is maybe, but I have a Snapcaster Mage, so it kind of makes Ancestral better anyways. So I'm just going to take Ancestral. I'll play this game a little bit longer. Obviously, Snapcaster is like not great into Oath of Druids, but I think it's okay. I do have a Fragmentize. Underground Sea, so maybe they're showing... Oh, we do know they're on Show and Tell Oath. Mystical, okay. Ancestral of their own. Knowing they're on Show and Tell Oath, it does actually make keeping 4 Dress Dungeon better as well. I don't think I want to get into a war over this Ancestral. Feels like it'll end really badly for me. I guess they only have 2 cards left. So if I force and then they force, I can Ancestral. If I force and they fluster, I can Ancestral. But I really can just wait, play my island and Ancestral on their upkeep. Don't have to fight over this. I don't think I'm going to either. Hope they don't like draw Vigor or something. That'd be kind of annoying. I'm gonna upkeep Ancestral here. I could technically wait, but I think waiting puts me in danger of getting like flustered out of this pretty badly. Hit an interesting spot where now I have Tibble Moxen to pay for this fluster. Okay, so they force pitched Flusterstorm, so we had the read on fluster. This is probably just fine considering we have Snap Ancestral next turn. I think this is just fine. Don't think that's the card we're fighting over. Just take our 2 for 1. Technically, if they show and tell and they counter everything, I can put in Snapcaster and Ancestral after. So like I can negate this, and if they have a second force, I can at least get some value. All right, they don't have a second force. Okay, Orchard 2 cards. Orchard Lotus. Okay. If they cast the show and tell, it's either it was a bait or they have Atraxa or Lotus or Citadel as their last card. If I draw a Fragmentize, I'm probably just gonna Fragmentize this Lotus. Sorry, if I draw like a white source. That's a white source. I think this is like assuming this show and tell wasn't a bait. Just gonna hit this. And then I can't beat Flusterstorm, right? So I should just snap Ancestral now. Or I could like totally wait until I mean, we think it was a bait, or we think it wasn't a bait. So I think I'm just gonna snap now. I guess I could snap DT and then go for Tinker next turn. Is that better than casting Ancestral? They could have like Seiju negation off the top. I think I'm just cast Ancestral. I guess I technically could go Demonic PO because I have a Snapcaster, but I can just draw into a PO, right? I have 4 POs to draw into at this point. This just drew a Flusterstorm, so if they like rip a second show and tell. I think the Ancestral looks better. See, Snapcaster's not too bad if they have an Orchard anyways. We have a Repeal for an Oath now and a Fluster for a Show and Tell. And then we just need to draw a PO that we can end step, and we're in great shape. Brainstorm. We could even repeal our Snapcaster Mage and do something like that. Don't think that's necessary, though. I'm pretty much willing to cast this Brainstorm. Interesting. Well, I don't think I need more mana, to be honest with you. Just gonna get rid of that. And then probe. I don't think I need any more white mana either. Just probe for life. Because then I can hit PO with Fluster back up. All right, so my opponent's hand is Emerald Atraxa. So they had an Atraxa. So I'm in a good spot. I don't think there's anything they can hit that I can't deal with right now. Based on how they play this turn, I think I'm interested in... Well, I'm 1 land short of Snap, Tinker, everything. So I could go Snap Demonic. Exactly Karn. We could... Yeah, that would be bad, but we do have an active 2/1, so I think it would be okay. I still don't think repealing is good here. I guess we could, if I had like, yeah, I think repealing's still not good there, interestingly. All right, found the PO. We know they have 1 unknown, so this is a very easy attack PO main phase. Doesn't even get flustered on the first one anyways. Okay. So, I mean, everything is just covered now. I don't even think we're playing out Mentor. Just gonna pass. We'll go Snap PO on end step. It's okay if it gets countered. And then we have... I guess they could then flash. So maybe we're not even supposed to do that. Maybe we should have just played Mentor then. Sure. That's an Oath. Just repeal the Oath. Found another PO. Yeah, all roads lead to victory here. I think this is just a perfectly reasonable time to win, so we'll just do the winning. PO, draw my whole deck, and then find Time Walk. Because each Snapcaster is almost a full another PO. I don't have my Sapphire, so it's not 100% a full PO, but I have 3 other lands, so... Probably there's like another way to just guarantee lethal here, but I think this is fine. You don't have to think too hard if you just draw through your whole deck. I guess we do need to win with 6 minutes, but I'm not really worried about that either. Oh. Yep, that's why I play a Snapcaster in my deck. All right, so now I just need to cast my Mentor and Time Walk. All right. Okay, I think we played this game a lot better than we played some of our previous games. This game was pretty tight. That felt a lot better. Maybe I'm just shaking off the cobwebs. I like this one a lot more. All right, here we go. Round 3. Round 2 felt a lot better. Hopefully we're kicking the rust off and we can keep playing well. This hand is good. We go turn 1 time walk, turn 2 Narset. We can DT for a Lotus for the Citadel maybe. This hand's totally good. Very reasonable. Would cast the would keep this hand again. Feel like best sequence is something like time walk, draw blue card, Narset resolve, draw 4s, maybe, or maybe just like time walk, Narset finds Lotus. I'm not sure. It kind of depends on what we play against, but definitely not a bad 6-card hand here. I don't mind this. Show and tell your your Grave Troll. It's a banger. All right, we'll wait till our opponent comes back. All right, opponent has arrived. Let's do it. Island, Sapphire, Time Walk. F6. Fetch land, Underground Sea, Narset. So yeah, if we can just resolve this and find a force off it, I'll be pretty happy. All right, got negated and trapped. Ooh, we played around Mindbreak Trap. Let's go. We didn't get Mindbreak Trapped in game 1. Yay. Oh no. It's doomed. Pack it up. We found the bizarre player. All right, so my opponent is on Squee. They have a Vengevine and a Squee in the yard. Bluster. All right, so I'm going to Demonic. I kind of want to go for Citadel. If I had a white source, I would consider going for Mentor, as I think Mentor is actually one of the best ways you have of combating Squee. They can't negate it. But I didn't fetch a Tundra, which I wouldn't be able to Demonic if I didn't. So... And I didn't want to cast Ponder first because I wanted to be able to Flusterstorm and protect my DT. Because if I can't resolve my DT, I'm not really resolving spells this game. So I kind of think I'm going to go Black Lotus, and then I'm going to Ponder, and then I'm going to try to hit mana sources so that I can go Citadel with Flusterstorm back up. Yeah, I'm down. There's a lot of ways this can go wrong. None of those are mana sources. Is it worth it to go Scroll? I can go Lotus, Scroll, Ancestral. Nah, I'm kind of committed to the line I chose here. Yogwill. Okay, that certainly gives us a different plan. So we're definitely going to hold this Lotus. Don't want to get trapped or Vigored. And then next turn, maybe we just go... I mean, maybe we're still supposed to just go Lotus Citadel. And then we can always buy back our Lotus with a Yogwill after. One Squee, one... All right, well, Wasteland screws that plan up. They found a second Wasteland. 4 cards in hand. Oh. Okay. Oh, let's do it. Ancestral. Not the best Ancestral I've ever cast, I must say. But I'll try casting another one. This obviously runs into Mindbreak Trap, but with a Flusterstorm, I think it's fine. I I could technically get to Citadel, right? If I just go, wait, yeah. So if I were to go DT, no, I can't get Lotus, and Mana Vault loses on black sources. All right, well, let's just cast Ancestral Recall first and see what we get. That's a bunch of Moxen. All right, so at this point, I think we're supposed to just cast this Citadel. Maybe there's a winning line. I wish I had Tendrils. I have 6 mana, right? So I could technically Demonic for Mentor, but then I can't Time Walk. There's like a lot of ways where if I put Citadel in here, we brick and we lose though, right? We could technically break our Black Lotus for a DT and get a PO. We could break our Black Lotus for a DT and get a Tolarian Academy. We could... I don't have my list up. What if we DT for a Brainstorm, play an Underground Sea, DT for a Brainstorm our Citadel back in our deck and Tinker, and then we have a Ponder and a Time Walk left over? Is that true or false? Obviously, it's not a great use of our mana, but if we were to play Fetch, Underground Sea, Demonic, Tinker with 1 blue left, it at least gives us the ability to Ponder, right? And it gives us the Brainstorm cards, so I feel like that's better. No, it doesn't. I mean, it just gives us... Well, I can't DT for top because I have to cast my Citadel. It's actually better because I have to use my Brainstorm. I feel like I get more options, though. I get more looks and I get rid of all these Scalding Tarns. It's got to be better. Okay, so I can Hercules as +1 mana. I don't have Bolt Key in my deck. Oh, I didn't put the Citadel back. All right, well, now we're kind of losing the game instead. I forgot to put the Citadel back. Oops. All right, so now how do I win? Things are bad. I like talked it out and then just didn't do it. Whoops. I'm not sure I can win anymore. I think I threw the whole game. Okay, so how do we win now? Let's go Ponder, find a PO, and take an extra turn, I guess. Hard cast Citadel next turn. That would require... Wait, they had Force after all of this? I don't think we're winning this game, to be honest with you. PO has to be quite good. See? Okay. I mean, I just meant to put the Citadel back in the Brainstorm line, and then I just didn't do it, so. Like, the whole reason I did that was because, I mean, I could have hardcast Citadel, obviously, right? But I didn't want to brick. So I was looking for a way so that I could, like, cast a Ponder after. And so I went with I think I went with the actual good line where I brainstorm the Citadel back in, and then I found a Hercules, which gives me an extra blue source. Sorry, an extra mana to ponder with. So it actually worked out pretty well. I just misclicked, so. My opponent isn't drawing 2 cards a turn yet, but they are Faithless Looting every turn. Okay, so double Root Walla. So I'm going to make the Vengevine not have haste. Okay, well, I still don't have triple black, and I have no payoff spells. So I'm currently losing still. I also can't get another Underground Sea because I chose to fetch and get an Underground Sea instead of play the Underground Sea out of my yard. The reason that I did that was because I wanted to make sure my Citadel had the highest chance of not bricking. The Wasteland ruins this plan anyways. Mystical. All right, well. Still winnable. Mystical for PO, draw 5. Another 2 Root Wallas. Squee in the yard. 3 cards in hand. Okay. It's kind of funny because I actually like what I came up with too. It's okay. I think, well, I won't get to Time Walk, but hopefully I'll just PO into a Mentor and the Mentor should be good enough. It's my plan anyways. Shouldn't be able to get countered here considering I have double Flusterstorm. All right, there's my Mentor. Do I play this Crypt out? No, I think I just go 1 Mox. Play my Mentor with Fluster Force. That's enough. I guess if they have triple Mindbreak Trap, it's not enough. Okay. I should have played a Sapphire out as well, because that would play around triple Mindbreak Trap. I played around Mindbreak Trap Force by having Force Fluster, but if my opponent had triple Mindbreak Trap, I should have had a second Sapphire out. I don't need that other monk, so it's just very silly not to do that. Okay, I played that one. It's kind of weird because I think I actually played part of it really well, but then like the misclick made everything really bad. All right, so what I'm gonna do is bring in Tabernacle, Tormods, Needle, Sphinx, and then possibly even Swords and Balance. Probably Balance as well. I don't know how many swords yet. I mean, I drew like 10 cards. What so what I'll do is I'm going to take out all these dress downs and Hercules Recall and Negation and Narset and Mental Misstep. And I'm not sure. Maybe an opal. So this hand has Vamp for tab. And this is probably just not good enough. Let's mulligan. This hand has Mentor. It's probably enough. It's worth keeping. I have a lot of good hits off of Ponder as well. One card that I don't have in my deck that's very good for this matchup is Lavinia. So any of my graveyard hate would be quite good to draw here off of Ponder. Try to get rid of these Vengevines before they come back. Interesting. Okay, I'm just going to... Just go Sphinx. So if I keep a force, can't do anything this turn. I guess I could play Pearl to help play around Mindbreak Trap. Yeah, I'll probably play Pearl, even though it's... Yeah, I'll play Pearl. There's no world where I want two forces. So I guess I just take Island. This exposes me to Vigor this turn, but helps me play around Mindbreak Trap next turn. And then I think we just go for Sphinx. Even though that exposes me to negation. Oh, also I probably... I guess technically if I go Mentor this turn... Oh, they hit double Root Wall. I'll bring back both Vengevines, pitching Vigor. 5 cards in hand. Mentor just might not be enough, to be honest. Because they have double Vine. They have Wasteland. We draw Island. So if I fetch, I go to 10. I force, I go to 9. I take 6 and gain 6. I beat my opponent's 1 interaction and lose to 2 interaction. Yeah. I think that's just fine. I guess I don't even have to fetch, but then I draw force next turn. Is that... In what world could that be good for me? There's no world where that's good for me, right? If it resolve... I mean, if I guess it doesn't resolve, we just lose anyways. Yeah, that's fine. Negation, pitch will, force, pitch outcome. Force, pitch outcome. They can't have Mindbreak Trap. They have to have Force Blue card is their last 2 cards. Yep, they had a Mindbreak Trap in hand, but I played my Pearl out the turn before, so I actually played around Mindbreak Trap. Very nice. I feel like playing our Pearl out was like a pretty key moment in this game. Oh, they have the snapback blue card. All right, we lie. All right. Yeah, I mean they had everything. Not much we can do there. Okay, run it back. Oh, I'm probably supposed to be cutting Citadel. Because there's like no world where I'm going Citadel over Sphinx. Is this hand good? Yeah, I think so. I feel like this is a play out Lantern on turn 1 moment, just so that we can't get Vengevine. That kind of limits a lot of the bad things that can happen to us. And then we just need to hit mana sources and get a mentor going. Seems like a reasonable path. Definitely a lot worse than having a turn 1 needle, though. But if this trade's like 1-for-1 with a Squee or a Vine, it's probably fine. Maybe it's not fine, but... We do need to get some heavy lifting from these cards that are in our hand, but... Could be a weird game. Damn. My opponent having double Vine, force Mindbreak Trap into Snapback. Brutal. Master of Death, Wasteland, Caracas. Caracas hits no cards in our deck. We'll have to consider, do we want to eat the Master with the Lantern? The answer might just be no. Fluster. All right. Well, I need to find a land. We found a land and a ruby. I'll go land. I think I'm happy to draw this ruby. We're still a little far from Mentor. I don't think I want to cast Mentor without Fluster up. So it's likely next turn I'll just cast the Brainstorm, which is going to draw us one card we don't want, which is the PO, but I think that's acceptable. The Soul Guide Lantern is protecting us from getting, like, really ranched by a Vine draw. They probably need to, like, put 2 in their yard or maybe continue just doing lootings every turn. Okay, so here's a Vine. And they kept a Master in hand. Is this enough to make me activate my Soul Guide Lantern? Yeah. The real problem here is if I want to play Mentor with Flusterstorm backup, I have to wait another turn. But maybe that's fine. This does not feel like a very good use of my Soul Guide Lantern. But it is what it is. Wasteland. We know they have a Master in hand. I still don't think I'm allowed to play Mentor this turn. I think I have to Brainstorm and look for more mana sources. I guess theoretically I could just go Ruby, Scroll, Ancestral. It doesn't look good though. This could eat a Force, I guess. If this eats a Force, do we fetch basic and then cast Scroll? And then go Ancestral next turn? Or do we just wait? Oh, waiting doesn't look good either. This does run into trap, though. Don't want to run into trap. I feel like I do need to play the Ruby out, though. I know my next card is PO, so I have to fetch. I'm going to have to fetch a non-basic a basic anyways. Man, this is really bad. All of these things are just really, really pinched, unfortunately. All right. Well, the ancestral did not. The merchant did not get Mindbreak Trap, which actually gives us a lot of opportunity now. It looked really bad though. Optically, it was really, really not good. No, I think I just need to hit the one vine there. Gives me an extra turn. They use the master to pitch to the negation, so I don't know if they have any more squee effects. They have another vine, but no more squee effects. That's good for me. 3 cards in hand. This is all good for me. Best draw in my deck is actually just fetch land and just play mentor. All right, well now I have to ancestral. Do I want to force this back or fluster back? I think I just want to force back so I can keep my options open mana-wise. I did not hit any land. I'm at 13. This is 9. To pay mana for this? Well, if I don't pay mana for this, I can draw PO. No, PO still doesn't do it. I don't think either of them would be great in Vintage. I just want to draw fetch land. Fuck! I think we lose this game. I have to draw fetch land next turn, and then I have 1 block, 2 blockers have to jump. Yeah, I think we're just losing this game. I just drew badly on my ancestral. It's kind of wild. Beseech is not nuts. Beseech is fine. I'm kind of like getting mad at people saying Beseech is like restrictable or nuts. It's really not. All right, I think my best draw now is actually just like PO or Tinker. I drew this, but it's too late now. That's hilarious. How frustrating is this game? I have to play the Soul Ring because if I draw a PO, I can't cast my PO without the Soul Ring. This game is super sad. I'm just maximizing the number of outs. Frustrating game. I wonder if I could have played it better. Tinker and PO. I just drew not the right magic cards, huh? I guess theoretically I could have just like made them wasteland me, but I need to give myself like the highest chance of winning. I have 4 POs in my deck to hit. Like the mentor is not getting the job done unless I'm casting other spells after it anyways. Like mentor make 2 chump blockers is definitely better than mentor chump twice, but like I think giving myself the highest opportunity to win the game is better than both. What a crazy game. I have 3 swords in my deck too. I guess if I drew the swords out of the white source, I'll be sad, but like that, I don't know. I must have done something incredibly wrong in that game or it just doesn't feel right. All right, here we go. Round 4, Vintage Challenge. We're up against Danny Ground, Italian Mastermind on a Lurrus deck. Our hand has an Ancestral Recall, so we will be doing the keeping. Black Lotus. Wasteland, go. least I can't get hold breachered, I guess. Now I probably am just waiting until I have Flusterstorm. Or even Dress Down. Lorien. All right, so we're probably playing against blue-black Lurrus control. Oh, nope, there's a red card. So we're probably playing against Jeskai then? Or Grixis? One of those. Okay. All right. Unfortunately, my opponent has more acceleration than we do. Classic Jeskai. I can fetch Island Island. I probably should do that end of turn, actually. Or second main, maybe. Fetch Island Island, and then in response to like a Preordain, I can Ancestral with all the backups. Feels like that's my best path forward. Gonna be a tough game. I feel like my opponent has a Bowmaster in hand, but I don't know if they're Jeskai or Grixis, so it's kind of hard to say. They just had some interesting like pauses where they had Black Lotus open. Strip my, come on! This is, why do I bother, man? It's just so doomed. Every time I've ever fetched a basic, it's gotten strip mined, right? Like the reason I did this is so I wouldn't have any bad timing windows where I'm caught off guard without like all my mana open to like actually play my spells. And so I think it makes sense to fetch both of my basics before my opponent's turn. Unless they draw strip mine. Because what I really want is them to use this colorful mana, put a spell on the stack, and then I can Ancestral, as it lets me both protect my Ancestral with Flusterstorm and maybe target their card. But now, I guess I could theoretically pass and let them go to combat, and they won't be able to flash anything back with this Arcanist unless they have their own Ancestral. But I just am going to be so far behind on mana at every point that I think it's just too late. I have to make the play. Maybe I could have, I don't know. So if they have their own fluster, I'm just wrecked. Well, I'm not just wrecked. I can technically I can pay and misstep. I guess I should do that. It's probably better than holding this misstep. But it takes off my other piece of interaction. It does let me beat a fluster though, which is something. So now do you have another piece of counter magic that you want to use? If yes, they can actually like second fluster off of Lotus and then play a Preordain, and we're just infinitely far behind. If no, if they just force it, it's not terrible for us. If they don't have anything, it just depends on what we draw. If They like hard cast negate off of Lotus and then play Preordain. It's a pretty good sequence. Looks like that's what's gonna happen. Oh, opponent is double queuing. So that's what's happening there. They're just double queuing a Vintage League. I would like to you know, drop from the Vintage League, but I guess we are both 1-2 in the challenge, so... Alright, so it looks like they're just hard casting a negation on off of Lotus, which I think in the end is acceptable for us. They have 2 cards left in hand, including... And they don't have a huge mana advantage. They didn't get anything off of this Dreadhorde Arcanist. And we have some cantrips. I think what I'm going to do is pass. If my opponent wants to Wasteland now, I'll just cantrip. And if they don't, I'll dress down so they can't like flashback something. Okay, they don't have a flashback. They also didn't have like a Ragavan, which we could stop from having haste. Wait, is there a Spice Weasel and a Space Weasel? Oh, a Spank Weasel. Oh, there's too many weasels. My chat is full of weasels. All right. I will go end step dress down. In case we hit like Mox PO. All right. That's fine. I think we're actually currently kind of ahead for some reason. I don't really hate where we're at right now. I think again, I'm going to make the same play as I did last time. I think this time I am just gonna vamp this time. What am I vamping for? I don't even know. No delve spell. Sapphire. I don't really like any of my vamps here. All right, I'm going to just cycle the dress down again. This doesn't let me do any dress downing on their Dreadhordes anymore, but I think I just rather have more cards. The worst case scenario here is if I cast this and they Ancestral in response, but I don't think I'm prepared to play through that. Just want to hit mana? Oh, okay. So I have like... Well, I can't get... Where'd my Ancestral go? Why is it... Why is it... Oh, it got hard cast negated. Alright, well, I'm going to cast Ponder. I'm just looking for extra mana sources here. Okay. Probe PO fetch. I'd like to see what's in my opponent's hand. I'll take the 2 life loss for it. I still just like I'm not beating a variety of cards. My opponent has Mindbreak Trap, Lavinia, Swords Dig. Classic Jeskai mana base with Strip Mine Wasteland. Okay, if this is the case, I have cast Ponder and Probe, so I would be turning on Mindbreak Trap. So I guess we don't want to do that. We're pretty close in this game. Well, I don't know if we even win from a resolved will at the moment. It's not like we have a lot of, like, we don't have the Ancestral in our yard. We're definitely going to vamp for something, though. What a weird game. All right, so I have no life, so I can't really go for a Citadel line. And I don't have any... I don't have any Moxen, so it's hard for me to go for PO. I don't have a draw spell because my Ancestral got negated. I have Mentor. I could just vamp for Mentor, but if they draw swords, they just swords it. So if I vamp for Crypt at 9 life is kind of a hard ask. I think if anything, I'd vamp for Lotus with an active Yogwill. But because all of my things are kind of like tempo-y, I don't really have even a great Yogwill anyways. So I'm going to be at 7. So if I go Vamp Lotus, Demonic Mentor, I have to Flusterstorm the Mindbreak Trap, and then I'm open to getting swords, which would probably be game losing, so I can't make that line. So if I get Lotus, and I go Demonic, Lotus, Flusterstorm the Mindbreak Trap, draw a bunch of cards, that might just be the best path forward here. Vamp, Lotus, Demonic. I need to just get a massive amount of artifacts so I can PO. And I just don't have any Ancestrals left in my deck. We could just get a Narset. It's not bad, but we could do that after, like, Demonicking, probably. But what am I even getting off this? I'm going to get a Lotus back and a Demonic back, and then I'm going to Demonic for what? It's just not even good, right? Well, I mean, my Narset could find me a Force. I don't know. I don't really know how to progress this game because I need a quantity of cards, but my number one way to get a quantity of cards is exiled. Normally, if it was countered, I could just Yogwill and I would get my Ancestral and it would be fine. Narset does technically find us 2 cards. Which is more than I can say about a lot of this plan. It might just be Narset. Let's try it. Oh, they didn't draw Force or Pyro or something. I'm definitely willing to cash in both Impulses off my Narset as well if they attack it. Force is probably what I want to draw first, and then Mox is what I want to draw second. What a weird game. If my opponent draws a lightning bolt, I die. That's cute. A cool draw might be... Yeah, just force is probably... I chew fluster. All right, so I'm going to take a jet for sure. And get that in play. And then I'm open to my opponent top decking anything again. And there's nothing I can do about it. Not card draw. Monkey, but no dash. That's totally acceptable. Okay. So I assume they hit my Narset. Yeah. All right. This is our time. My opponent has a Mind Break Trap at least, and Mind Break Trap plus Force at most. I have an active Narset. I would like to try to PO and win here. So there's a PO. So if I take Sapphire and Demonic Lotus, Lotus Yogwill, bring back Lotus. No. Demonic Crypt. Play Crypt Sap. I think I need the Sapphire before I need the PO. Sapphire. I'm priced into Flusterstorming a Mind Ray Trap this turn anyways. I might as well cantrip. Yeah. Okay. That's good. I know we don't have a lot of mana. I'm aware. What if I demonic for Time Walk? And then next turn I Yogg. And then I DT for... It's just still not good, right? If I go Black Lotus, Yogg will replay Black Lotus. Then I have 6 mana. 7 mana after land. Demonic PO. I mean, it's got to be good enough. All right. This looks game winning. One, two, three, four, five. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. Sorry, I didn't think that one out for you guys. I just needed to make sure I just got it all done. Hopefully this was my opponent finish their other match. I can play out Mana Crypt, no problem, because a million reasons, basically. I'm at 7. I have a Hercules. I have everything. All right, that's good enough. I'm just going to go to my next turn, take the 3 damage, draw a couple cards, and kill my opponent. Okay. No, you can't prevent the damage by doing that. So I'm just gonna cast 3 spells, 3 tops, and then we'll attack for lethal. I wasn't 100% sure we were gonna get there from that line, just because we just had no Moxen, right? We had very few artifacts. So now I have tops, so I have as many spells as I have mana. Just trying to complete this is in a reasonably quick manner. Mostly fighting against Moto lag at this point. Okay, they're dead. Well, that felt pretty good. It felt pretty stressful because it was a really weird game of Magic. But Jeskai just doesn't really have the most functional mana base. Like, my opponent kept Black Lotus Wasteland Lorien revealed and then just never was able to play white spells the entire game because we made them use their Lotus on my Ancestral. So that was really weird. Now we have to play Postboard versus Jeskai, where they're going to bring in a bunch of Pyroblasts. I usually like Lantern. I usually like Swords, even though I have a bunch of Dress Downs, so that might not be the case still. Usually like Balance as well. Sometimes I like Trap. It's weird because Jeskai's playing Island, Wasteland now, so I can't take out Island anymore. This is like a lot of cards to bring in. I'm not 100% sure if I like it. Let's try Mystical out, Fluster down to 2. I think I just would rather have some swords than have dress downs. I still think I like dress downs in the matchup, but I just think that it's... I probably want to play all my Flusters, though, because I'm trying to resolve my spells. So it's probably like... Maybe this is too many swords, actually. If we bring in 2 swords, a balance, and a Soul Guide Lantern, and take out Dress Down, Mystical, Hercules, and Negation, we have to go up lands, but they are a Wasteland deck now. We have extra removal for their creatures, a pretty big payoff into playing a bunch of Moxen, and a way to interact with their graveyard that still draws us cards. This seems fine. That was quite the game of Magic the Gathering, I must admit. Caracas. Yeah, this is not my favorite hand, but I'm willing to play. My deck does not look very powerful when I keep hands like this, but I don't really have... You really want to keep as many cards as you can against Jeskai. Monkey. Opponent actually has so many legendaries in their deck, huh? They have Monkey, Lurrus, and Lavinia. Are they going to play Monkey and Lavinia on turn 1 here? So they had Ruby, Pearl, Lavinia, Ragavan, 1 card in hand. How do I win without Mentor? So you have another way of winning where you sack 10 permanents to your Bolas's Citadel, and then you Yogg-Will all your permanents back and sack them again. Those are your 2 ways you win. I actually think I have to force this just because I'm getting my Karakas overloaded, right? I won't be able to, like, make plays. But then they just go buy Lurrus. I guess we can just force it and Soul Guide it later. I guess that's fine. Because I have to do this in combat or things are bad for me. Last card, Shattering Spree. Classic Tundra Pearl Shattering Spree deck. Okay. Karakas looks good until they draw Wasteland. That's a good draw. Bottom, bottom. Monkey. That was bottom, bottom, by the way. Just in case anyone was wondering. I think I'm actually just going to snap probe. I just want to hit my land drops. I actually am going to play top because I don't want to get like Shattering Spree on my lantern. I kind of want them to like pay for Lurrus this turn and then I can get the Lavinia and they're not getting anything off the Lurrus. I guess I might have to hit both of their creatures. Can we stop just drawing cantrips? Okay. All right, all right, all right. It's like a little annoying that if I jump here, then I kind of have to eat the Ragavan, maybe. Kind of a weird, another weird grindy game. All right, they did not shuffle their library, and they did not play a land. Are you attacking? I assume you are. I will block. Arcanist. Okay, so I can clear the yard. And then they have Shattering Spree after. Or I can dress down. I might just want to dress down for a turn. I really don't want to get my Pearl Shattering Spree, man. I don't know what my best line here is. Because they all kind of do similar things, but they all are like marginally different. Maybe I just end step dress down. And that gives us a draw and a spin. Kind of think that's what I want to do. Like, I know my opponent doesn't have counter magic. If I can just find a Tinker, it's like super good for me. Like, maybe I'm supposed to be topping and trying to find a fetch land for my Vamp Tutor. But I'm just going to dress down. Draw my Underground Sea. Okay. The problem now is, though, if like they just Shattering Spree this turn, I think they'll put Lurrus in their hand, right? I mean, they're going to shatter. All right, well, this means I get to eat the Shattering Spree with the Lantern, though. So there's some upside to this. So if I take this Mana Crypt for turn, and I Vamp for Tinker, and draw and Tinker off the Mana Crypt, and if it doesn't work out, I still have Soul Guide, I guess. Or I can take the Mana Crypt, 4 mana, Vamp. Sorry, Vamp down to 4 mana. I can't Soul Guide draw. Okay. All right, so if my opponent didn't draw Flusterstorm, we're going to Tinker. Or Mindbreak Trap, I should say, as well. I think I'm supposed to just go for a Tinker here, right? I guess they could Mental Misstep me as well. "12 life, Tinker. Citadel. Yo on top. I can't PO for 1 the Lantern. I have to crack their whole yard. I have to crack their whole yard this turn. I don't have a land drop to give. I don't have a Mox. I can't make a PO for 1. It's either pay 4 life and take and get nothing, or just play my Lantern and pass. I'm going to play my Lantern and pass. I think I'm willing to take 1 and draw PO to save the life. Well, there's like a million reasons. They can draw counters, they can draw Shattering Sprees, they can Time Walk, they can Lightning Bolt. Like, there's a million reasons to not do this. Ragavan. I guess that's another reason. I guess I just let them take the PO off the top of my library. It's a lot nicer to cast this Narset than it is to cast it off for 3 life. So that's something as well. I do need to make sure I stay above 2. Ragavan Unknown in hand. Narset, draw my force. I need to keep going. Do I want an emerald or do I want to have force in my hand, even though I can't have a second card? I think I'd rather just have a jet. Swords is great. Do I wait for the monkey on swords? Or do I just swords this Dreadhorde Arcanist? Let's just swords this Dreadhorde Arcanist. Play a Misty. I think we'll just let the monkey hit us. Rather than... No, I'm just going to fetch. Nice. I have 5 minutes on my clock. I have to win this game. With Fluster backup. That's so funny, man. With double Fluster backup. Probably also supposed to Fluster this. Also with Dress Down. Yeah, I'm going to cast Dress Down as well. End step. Need a PO. There's a PO. Uh-oh. Oh, I don't draw. They don't draw Ragavan. I'm not saying that was the best choice I could have made there, but I'm just running out of time. Lurrus to hand, sure. I could have played this better, but I'm just trying to win the game now. I can't crack anything because I kind of need to force. I sure hope that this force on Lurrus resolves. I don't think I played this last section well, but I'm just trying to be mindful of the fact that I have to win the game. Time walk. Yeah, I do think I care because it just regrows Ragavan. Maybe that doesn't matter. Just feels like a lot of worrying. My opponent has no cards in hand. They have to draw top deck Lightning Bolt, and they're gonna die on the next turn. They just have to draw top deck Lightning Bolt right now. There's like a world where they go like Lurrus bobble loops or something. Maybe I'm not supposed to. It's just a Lurrus and a Ragavan. I could just chump twice. Yeah, maybe I can just not. Do they have enough to dig for a Lightning Bolt? It's pretty crazy. They top deck dig here. Damn. That's unfortunate. Wow. Guess I'm going to lose. Oh, they tap their red source. Can they play a land? They can play a land still, right? Yeah. Maybe they're trying to find swords because they don't have a lightning bolt. Swords doesn't really save them. It might save them on clock, actually. Because I'm going to have to win this turn, probably. I have to Ancestral into PO and try to make enough Monk triggers to win. Okay, they didn't find either. So I think that means we're just winning. That's pretty crazy. I played this back half of the game really poorly. I was just trying to make sure I could win in time. And that would have mattered if they like found swords for Mentor here. But it's like a million things that I'm not allowed to click on the screen, like anything off the top of my library and any of my fetch lands. I'm gonna cast more spells in case they. I mean, I guess if they had a swords, they would have already cast it. But I mean, I have enough time where I can cast a couple more spells here to get to the point where if there was a creature going away, that I would be fine. I have a lot of time. The thing I was like really, really worried about is like they swords the Mentor and then I don't have any time and I have to like get 8 spells in one turn. I guess we could have probably have done that pretty easily too. So maybe like all my concerns were actually kind of nonsense and I really should have just let the Monkey and the Mentor or in the Lurrus resolve, pass with force up, force the dig through time and win. That's probably true. I mean, game 1, I just didn't draw any Moxen, so it was a very long game. Yeah. I just didn't have a lot of time, so I played pretty badly at the end. But like, I'm not even sure like the second Flusterstorm to get a card off the top was actually correct. It kind of looked bad in retrospect, but we did have like triple blick. I actually think if we had cast Paradoxical Outcome for 4 life, we probably would have lost the game because we had triple bricks on the top of our library, right? I think it's very likely we would have lost the game if we had chose to cast the PO. But maybe we would have had Mental Misstep for the Ragavan in the first case, so maybe it would have been fine. I really just like would like to take the whole ending section of this game back and be a little bit more precise. Like, I guess if I know my opponent's hand is going to 0 cards with the Lurrus, then there's no reason for me to counter the Lurrus because all the opponent has is Lurrus and Ragavan, and I have 2 monks already, so I can just double chump anyways. And like, I think I just like opened myself up to a bunch of ways I could possibly die. All right, here we go. On to round 5. We got Daphne. Daphne has been trying a lot of different things. So we'll have to see what they're going to choose to play today. I know that they did pretty well recently with the Oath show and tell deck, so maybe we play 3 rounds versus Oath today. That'd be pretty crazy. Well, the Buffalo Chicken deck is full proxy, and Four Seasons is full proxy. So the only thing you need to actually have cards for is Eternal Weekend. All right, my opponent is going to be playing probably Blue-Black Lurrus. My hand is quite good. Obviously, I have lots of restricted cards. I even have protection for my Ancestral on their upkeep. I'm just going to go get a basic island and Ancestral on their upkeep and see how this plays. Four Seasons is in Bologna, Italy. Fortunately, I will not be able to make the next 4 seasons. I can only do 1 European trip every 6 months or so. Cast this Ancestral, target me. All right, I did not draw a single mana source, which is bad for me. Well, if you proxy using double face helper cards, then it doesn't really matter that your deck is not has some proxies in it because they're all the same thickness. So play with all the cards that you have, and then some double-faced helper card. Why is there a Tarmogoyf on the stack? Okay, you got a Tarmogoyf. My opponent is playing some kind of bug Lurrus, it looks like. I should have known after they led on double Moxen. I don't have mana, so I need to draw mana. If I draw even a single mana, we're in a good spot. I did not draw any mana. How does this, like, happen? I don't understand, man. All right. I'm just going to pass and get rid of a Flusterstorm. Am I, like, not super unlucky? Is that not what's happening here? I'm definitely going to misstep this Brainstorm. Brainstorm is a broken magic card. Get hit by a Tarmogoyf. I mean, we're still winning this game, don't get me wrong, but, like, it should be pretty easy after you resolve Ancestral on turn 1. Moxen. Just going to go Time Walk. I'm just looking to find a land so that next turn I can go Sensei's top and then PO with Fluster back up on their end step. I think they also have like it's possible they have a Bowmaster. All right, I did not draw those things. What does that leave me? Passing? If they Bowmaster, am I POing? I'm probably end step POing without activating top. I have negation backup as well, which is kind of nice. It's one of the really nice parts about PO and negation is that I can actually play on my combo on my opponent's turn and have negation as a counterspell protecting it, whereas something like Beseech or Doomsday can't do that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to PO without spinning or activating top, just for 4, and see what they do. If they want to tap out for Hardcast negation, Hardcast Force, that's fine. If they have the Bowmaster, which I figured is what was happening. Don't think I care that much about the Bowmaster, though. It's kind of bad now if I don't find a dress down. I have 4 dress downs in my deck, so... Okay. I assume this means my thing's resolving. So this will put me to 7, and then I just need to find a dress down underneath my cards. Oh, they also have a counterspell? That's pretty unfortunate for me. I kind of figured they were playing like they had Bowmaster. Oh, that's okay, though. I will just negate this. Pitching Flusterstorm. They have 1 card. All right, so this should be a win if I find a dress down at any point, really. We actually might... We actually might just have a win with Yogwill, too. Okay, let's think for a second. I have 1,000,000 mana. So if I... Mystical for Yogwill. No, I don't like that either. I mean, this game is going to be a Yogwill game at some point, but I just need to get rid of the Bowmaster first. Yeah, we have a repeal. That's true. I just didn't want to use any of these because it's just asking a lot of my garbage card. Like, I want to just draw a dress down. I have 4 in my deck. All right, so if I crack this for black and I vamp for a dress down, draw the dress down with top, crack this for an underground sea, 3 different mana, vamp for a dress down, sorry, vamp for a dress down, draw it with top, mystical for a Yogwill, draw it with dress down. That cost me 6, 4, 3. I think it's fine, right? Oh my god, I used the wrong mana. Does that matter? It's probably fine. I just have to find another black source at some point. Maybe I just have to go for another PO on top. Maybe I just wait. Ah, this was so bad. I just played, like, I had a million ways to win this game, and I just threw them all away. I'll just go dupe 2 POs. Oh, wait, I don't have enough blue mana to do 2 POs. What am I doing, man? Wait, why didn't I draw another card first? I lost this game. I threw the, I don't know what am I doing? I'm just playing horribly. What am I doing? I had about a million lines that win the game from there, and I just messed them all up. I'm just like clicking the wrong mana sources, just doing all the wrong things. I don't understand. The best line was mystical for repeal the thing, and then go from there. The next best line, which was the line I found, was Yogwill with my I just had a Yogwill, but I didn't use my Lotus for black mana, which is what I planned out the entire line around. So we're gonna play this out similar to the way we play out the other match, except we're not gonna bring in Caracas, and we're gonna trim a little bit on the Opal side of things. Dress downs are king here for sure, but I definitely want all of my removal anyways. Just gonna keep some of our lower value cards out, and I'm gonna keep in the possibility of going for Sphinx. My opponent doesn't actively have removal that hits Sphinx. They might have a Besagio or 2 in their 75. But there's going to be a lot of cases where Sphinx is going to make more sense. We'll play like this. I just don't understand. Like, I just planned the whole thing out and then hit the wrong mana again. Isn't that the second time I've done that tonight? I feel like that's the second time I've done it today. Oof, there it is. Time walk. It's fine. I guess I should be happy my opponent used a strip mine and now I can't get my basic killed. Oh, it is a Death Ray Shaman deck. That's cool. Opponent's got a sweet deck. I'd like to either build up to 4 mana and look for an end-step PO or find a Tinker. It's like a little challenging because they're going to attack my mana with Collector Oof and Wastelands. So I kind of want to fetch an additional island here, especially now that Strip Mine is gone, to keep those in play. Black Lotus out of Bug. Okay. If they have a land, they can go for Lurrus and rebuy and replay. Demonic. Is this going to get like Collector Oof or something? Either way, I think it just resolves. I keep getting like out-mana'd by these control decks, which feels like kind of illegal. But not much I can do about that. No action on the top of our library, huh? I don't know how slow I'm supposed to play this. Like if they DT'd for Bowmaster, I don't like. I think PO just combos through Bowmaster most of the time, so I don't think I care that much. DT, perfect. So the problem here is Fluster. Tinker. They might just have tutor for like Collector Roof and they're waiting to play it on their turn with Flusterstorm backup or something. The only tutor that I can take here that doesn't get completely ranched by a Resolve Collector Oof is Ancestral Recall. If I take Tinker or PO, there are just like really, really bad things that are going to happen to me, right? I think I just have to go Ancestral. And then I don't think I'm allowed to cast it now. I guess I could cast it now. How many spells? No, I'm going to wait. Oh, they just tutor for Ancestral of their own. Oh, let's see if I can get rid of their counter magic with this. Figured that was the case. I had a mental misstep on top before. Why didn't I just keep the mental misstep? If I thought they were going to go for Ancestral, why didn't I just keep the mental misstep? Just terrible play. All right, whatever. I'll just concede. I played really badly. I don't deserve to win any of these games. I don't think it's possible to play worse than I did today. It's just incredible. Like, I have the ability to wait and have mental misstep floating on top of my library. There's just absolutely no reason to go DT here. So I didn't draw with top because I want to be able to draw PO and just PO for 4. Or to draw, spin, find tinker, that kind of thing. No, I played horrible. I just played so badly today. That's what it is. All these games were totally winnable. So all of these cards are good. I just need to determine how I want to play them. I think the answer is draw PO, draw Yogwill, and just try to run them out of counters. They're just going to draw a Collector Roof right now. Are they going to put Lurrus in their hand? Sure, that's fine. I don't really care about that, to be honest. Yogwill is also like a little sus into Deathrite Shaman. Wasteland. Okay. I think I just have to cast this PO now. I think like waiting to end step or anything is just not going to work out. I decided that I didn't want to go Fluster because I didn't think we'd ever be able to pay for have a Fluster go through, and that does look like that's the case. Do I gain anything by waiting here? No, I don't think I really gain anything. I'm not going to activate my top, though. I'm just going to try to PO for 3 and see if they have a counter, and then untap and Yogwill and see if they have a counter. Looks like they have a hard cast force, and they get to rebuy Lotus every turn. Or they just have a Fluster now. Sure. Okay. So I'm kind of just hoping my opponent has 3 bricks in their hand, maybe like a bunch of lands, and then I can untap in Yogwill, and I guess technically they have Black Lotus to eat my Ancestral, so that might not even work out for me, but... Oh, nah, they're not going to have any bricks after this. No, it's fine. It's fine. Like I said, I think this game was determined 3 turns ago, where I played really badly into my opponent's Demonic Tutor. And obviously we should be playing a game 3, but I just threw the one game in game 1. Funnily enough, that doesn't actually matter if they don't have a counter spell. I do find that kind of interesting. But I mean, I just think they have a counter spell, so... This is the last play of the game. If this doesn't work, I will concede. Okay. I guess I could... No, I can't even draw Tinker. All right, I'm off it. Okay, I definitely need to stop streaming. I'm pretty in the gutter at the moment mentally. I need to not be doing this right now. Let's just talk about the deck before we sign off. I think the deck was pretty bad. Like it definitely sometimes put me in places that were winning, but even when they were winning, they were kind of challenging to win through. I don't think the 4 dress downs were bad, but we do like lack a lot of the power of like the other cards you can play in these flex slots, like Teferi, Lavinia, kind of do similar things, but we have like so much air in this deck now somehow. I don't really know why it feels that way. Maybe it just always was that way. But we just had like many ancestrals and POs where we drew 3 cards and like couldn't win the game, which if your PO is you're casting PO for 3 and you can't win the game, it just does not feel like a viable deck choice. So I think although I would credit some of today's or a lot of today's poor record to me playing badly, I also just like didn't have good feelings about how the deck was functioning. And that also could just be like we weren't drawing super well. We weren't having good openers. But I think more likely it's just this deck is doing something that is less powerful than what other people are doing. And I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it some more. But I think in general, I wasn't really happy with how the deck played out today in multiple circumstances. So sorry about all the negativity. And I just like, this is typically the thing that I actually can pride myself on doing well in. And I did not play well today. So more vintage content Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I will see you then.